everyone, welcome back to my Colouring Arts and Crafts channel. So you may notice in front of you I have the Derwent ProColour set. I received these from a 36-cent set from Derwent in exchange for a review. So I will be reviewing these. So you may wonder what exactly we're doing today if I have these here. I just received these this morning and I'm so excited to have them. And I'll open up the set. But you'll also notice a hint underneath if I can get the tin open. But yeah, so I received these Derwent 36 set of ProColour pencils today to review, and they're beautiful. I'm really happy to have them. So you may wonder what exactly we're doing since I've received these and the fact that I'm bringing them up here. What we're actually going to do is we're going to start another Millie Marotta piece. We're going to start this fish piece from Animal Kingdom, and I'll just pause a minute because the battery is about to die. So yeah, so we're going to be starting this Millie Marotta fish with our Derwent ProColour 36 set of pencils, and I'm so excited to review these and do this. It does not mean that the other pieces will be finished. It's still going in rotation. I'm just going to add in this piece now and work with our Derwent ProColour pencils, and I'm still going to keep working in rotation with our other colours and pencil pieces. And you'll notice I've got a finished piece here in the background, which is why it's sliding a bit because of the Glad wrap. But yeah, so pretty much we will be still doing this. This one will just be being added into the rotation of all our other pieces. I'm not sure of a background yet, or if I will do a background. I may just do a black background, I don't know. But I really want to play with the Derwent ProColour pencil set and see this. And we're just going to add it into rotation with our other pencil colour alongs, along with our new colour along of Magical Jungle Elephant by Joanna Basford. I intended to add in another Millie Marotta once the current Millie Marotta was done, but we're just going to add it in now because we have these beautiful pencils that we have to test, don't we? I'm so excited. It made my day when they turned up on the mail on the doorstep today. So yeah, we're going to start with this, and then we're going to, I guess, just add this into our pencil colour rotation. And where is this? Oh, this is from my Medusa thing, so I've got to put that back in my Mythomorphia folder thing. And here's the other one. I got it. Got it. But yeah, so it's not that the other pieces aren't going anywhere. They will be finished, they will be worked on, they will be done. But now that I have these, I really want to play around with them and review things. And sorry, I'm just adjusting the bit of foil underneath, or whichever it is. But yeah, I can't wait to play around with them more, and I don't know that one's going to work. I think I'm going to need the paper. So I either keep a chunk of paper because of its flexibility to colour with, or a piece of card, and the paper's going to work better this time. So yeah, this is in my Millie Marotta Deluxe Edition piece. As you'll note, the page beside it's blank. But yeah, so I really hope you'll enjoy this and you'll come along with me as we colour this. And yeah, I can't wait to test things. So I'm sort of deciding exactly where to start because of the going over things, but I guess it's part of the test. I think I'm going to start on this fish here, and it's kind of going to be interesting having limited colours to test this. So I'm just deciding exactly the colour tones that I want to go here. And I think I might start with Imperial Purple number 26, and I think I'm going to start with an area of the body, but I'm not quite sure. I'm deciding where to start first. Maybe I should start with this flower bit. I might start with this flower here. And we're going to, yeah, as I said, we'll start with our Imperial Purple number 26 from Derwent ProColour. And I think what I'm going to do is have the shadows. Oh, should I have the shadows in a different direction to usual? No. I think I'm going to have the shadows coming down, well, one of my usual directions. It depends. It sometimes swaps as we colour. But yeah, so let's do this. I can't wait. And my first feel of using them, they feel so nice. Like, oh, just as good as the Polychromos and the Prismacolor. They feel just as nice. Like, they feel brilliant. Oh, I'm so excited. I would love to test the light fast, but I don't currently have a set of those, so hopefully in the future I'll be able to test those when I can get them. From what I've heard, next year they're bringing out a 72 set, so hopefully then we'll be able to get in Australia as well as use those. And this is such a nice pencil. I'm just deepening up some of those layers around the edges of the flower head. But this pencil feels just so nice. It really, really does. It's like smooth like butter, pretty much. It's just so nice. It feels really, really nice, particularly on this paper. The deluxe edition, I think, is the 180 GSM paper. And boy, is it working so nicely on here. Thank you so much to Derwent for sending me these to review. I'm so happy to have them. Alright, now light sources, or light areas for blending. Deepening up areas if we need to. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh. Okay, so now I'm just thinking, if our light source is coming from this way, we'll have some shadows around here as well as around these flower areas that are on top of things. Receiving this parcel made my day. I was so happy to get it. And I'm just going to put a bit up there because of the shadow of that petal. These pencils really are like butter for going on the paper. I really can't wait for the day that I get to try Derwent's Lightfast range. When I can afford them, of course. This one, I'm going to bring it down around these areas. Wow. These pencils are so amazing. Right now I have nothing but praise because they're not sticking like Inktense sometimes does. And I'm not sure, that could be extra wax or just something on the pencil, but it helps by sharpening it, as I've learnt. But these ones, they're just going down as smooth as Prismacolor or Polychromos goes down. And I think they're just as good, and I really hope to one day test the Derwent Lightfast against the Faber-Castell Polychromos. It'll be amazing to, well, it would be amazing to be able to do that, because I'm finding, honestly, I've used Derwent's pencils since I was a kid, and I still intend on fully using them on this channel, including studio pencils, because you can actually get a really good effect with them. But Derwent seems to be bringing out some amazing pencils that actually, well, are comparable to, like, as you know, Prismacolor isn't really, some of them are light fast, more light fast than others. Faber-Castell Polychromos, there's a lot of high light fastness in those pencils. And I feel like now that Derwent's bringing out the light fast pencils, they're really starting to get right up there with the, like, I've always thought they were right up there, but Faber-Castell and Prismacolor had that extra step, and I feel like now Derwent is actually definitely matching up with Faber-Castell and Polychromos, and I definitely think they could give them the run for their money with the new pencils they're releasing, because from what I've just used with this here, they're amazing. The colour's amazing and vibrant. It goes down really, really nicely, really easily, and it's just, oh, I love it. It's really good, and I really feel like Derwent is definitely a brilliant company to go with for your pencils, and I'm really, really happy they're bringing out these new ranges, because yeah, it's just, for me, Derwent is a company that I've always loved since I was a kid. I grew up using Derwent pencils. My mum grew up using Derwent pencils, and so mum bought Derwent pencils for us as kids for our schoolwork and art and all of that. And so I'm really happy to be doing this, because I've always loved Derwent since I was a kid, and I think, honestly, if I had to choose for my kids when I have them, I would choose to buy them Derwent pencils as well, because it's kind of what my mum did for me and my family, my sister and brother, and I would do the same for them. So it's kind of like, almost like, I guess, a bit of a family tradition to buy our art pencils being the Derwent pencils. So yeah, I'm really loving these. So next we're going to come in with Derwent ProColour Magenta number 21. And we're going to bring that over here and... Ooh, pretty! So pretty! But yeah, I'm really feeling like Derwent is really up there now with the light fast pencils, and competing with Faber-Castell and Prismacolor, and I'm happy about it because they're a really good quality company. They do really good quality pencils. Of course, as you all know, pencils sometimes have their faults and issues, and the lead doesn't last up forever, but they work, so it's like, yeah, it's like, it's not really, like, all companies can have faults and issues with pencils. Like Prismacolor has a lot of faults with the pencil lead breakage. I have certain pencils that the lead just breaks and breaks and breaks. So yeah. But right now, what I'm seeing with these, they're definitely right up there. Like, I love them, and they go down so smooth, and I'm in heaven right now. I always love playing with new pencils. I love playing with new pencils. I'm kind of considering trying to save money towards a light fast set if I can't, or towards a light fast set, because Derwent's pencil quality, it hasn't lacked over the years at all. It's stayed consistent, it's always been really good quality ever since I was a kid, and I love that about Derwent and their pencils and their collection, and I would definitely use them for my kids to encourage them to draw and colour and do art and all of that. Of course, I wouldn't probably share these ones with them, but I would definitely look at getting them the Derwent Studio pencils, because they're actually a very good comparable mid-quality artist brand. Well, I say they're mid-quality because of the fact that they sort of were fainter and they didn't hold down as much colour in that as the Prismacolor or the Polychromos would. That's what I mean by mid-quality. They're still definitely an artist quality pencil, but they just don't hold down quite as much colour as the Faber-Castell Polychromos and Prismacolor did when I did my comparisons. However, I'm interested in now doing a comparison with these ones, because I feel these ones, going by what I'm seeing here, would have definite comparison qualities to the Prismacolor and the Polychromos, and I feel they would definitely hold up against them. And it's nice to see now that Derwent has a range of like mid artist quality pencils that students can use, and also really good quality pencils for actual artists and people who draw and do all of that. So it's really nice to, I guess, see this happening and going, because I've always loved Derwent, and now I feel like I definitely have more options with my Derwent pencils, and it makes me really happy about that, because I've always been a fan of them since I was a kid. So I'm actually really happy to have these, and I can definitely see how amazing these pencils are. I can. Surely, I wonder. Do I have my Derwent Studio pencils out? I don't. I just want to look at. I'm quickly going to pause, or I might just continue this, and then I might pause, because I'm thinking I wouldn't mind doing a quick look at how the Derwent ProColour goes to the Derwent Studio pencils, and see how that works out, because I really feel like they're both amazing products, don't get me wrong, but I'm curious to see the difference in colour depths between them. I'm really curious about that. So I'm just going to pause it there for a minute, and I'm going to get my Derwent Studio pencils, and I just want to do a bit of a test and see how they compare to each other. So yeah, I'll be back shortly. So hey everyone, we're back. So we're pretty much going to do a bit of a comparison now between our Studio and ProColour, because I'm very curious as to the difference. We've both got Imperial Purple and Magenta for both of them, so I'll just show you. So here's our Imperial Purple and our Magenta, and we just want to have a look and see the difference. You can tell there's a difference in the shape. The Studio is more a hexagonal shape, the ProColour's a round shape in the pencils. And yeah, so I'm really curious to see how this is going to go. So we're going to start with our Imperial Purple number 23, and we're going to use this how I normally use, and this is in our Derwent Studios. So we're going to do it sort of roughly light source coming from this way, and we're going to do it in a bit of our circle here that we've just drawn. It's a really rough circle, so don't mind just how bad it looks, because it's not a great circle by any means. It's not, and we want to draw our light area and add a bit of a light area and try and add some darker depths. And I'm pressing quite hard to try and get this depth in it. I am. And we just want some of our little light source areas. And then we want to come in with our magenta number 22, and we're going to add that in over this, and I think I'll just shade it light upper in the lighter areas, but I'm pressing quite firmly to get this colour depth too, or firmish at times. And we just want to lighten this out up here. So that's our magenta and our Imperial Purple for our Derwent Studio. Now we want to try our ProColour Imperial Purple. And I don't feel like I'm having to press nearly as firmly to get this down. Like, this is a very bad circle, but automatically you can tell there's a deeper colour depth to it than our other colour, but we've got the magenta over that one too, so that could be what's making that one brighter. But this one, it feels very easy to just deepen up those colours without much pressure, without much weight. And it's just very nice, easy to change that colour depth, because I don't feel like I'm kind of cramping my hand a bit to put that down. Like, the Studio pencils are still very good. They're very nice hard wax. They do a good job for that. But I'm noticing a bit of a difference in them when I use them, in the fact that I don't have to put quite as much pressure down, and I just want to add a bit more lighter blending areas in here. And then we want to come in with our magenta, and I still, like, I guess I'm still putting a bit of pressure through this because I can feel it a bit in my wrist, but I'm noticing the colour depth is quite different to the Studio pencils. Like, I'll say yes, the Studio pencils are still very good pencils. They're very good quality pencils, and I would definitely recommend them, particularly for people who are starting out with colouring or want to learn more with the Studio pencils, or don't have the money for the ProColour or Prismacolor or Polychromos, because of the fact that they still do a very, very, very good job. Like, I will say I'm still very much a fan of the Studio pencils, even after all this time, even after playing with actual artist quality pencils and doing stuff with those. I still very much love my Studio pencils, and I'm still definitely intending on using them on this channel because I love them, so why not? But I am noticing a bit of a difference here in the Studio and the ProColour, because the Studio seems slightly lighter, as you'll notice, whereas the ProColour's got a lot more depth that's able to be added to it without quite so much pressure and weight being put through the pencil. Because I find usually if I want deep depth with the Studio pencils, because like I sometimes layer a bit, I will say, but sometimes I don't necessarily layer things either. Sometimes I try and put the colour depth down in one lot while still blending over with the other pencils, so as we did here, like doing our purple and then adding that. Sometimes I'll only do one layer rather than 2 or 3, but other times I will do that. But I find with the studio, if you want to get it down in one layer, it takes a lot of pressure to do so to get a really good colour depth. But I find it's still possible to get a really good colour depth, as you noticed from my Layla Julie piece, which I'll just get. But it still doesn't go down as deep as others, and don't mind all the colours and the glad wrap and that. But this was our Layla Julie piece, which was done with the Derwent Studio pencils. As you can tell, they provide very good colour depth, very good thing, but they do take a bit of getting used to it, and I've realised you can still get very good colour depth even without putting a lot of pressure through them, but I find it does take a bit of pressure to get that deep colour depth, and I still think it works out well. It still happens, still goes, and I think they're still very good pencils. But when you look back at this too, you can tell that ProColour, being a more expensive pencil, obviously they do get that colour depth even more, but Studio is still very good for someone starting out in art and colouring and everything like that. I feel it is a very good option for what you can afford, and if you can't afford the ProColour, I still feel the Derwent Studio does give you a very good option and effect out of them. But the ProColour, it really does, I think, compare to my Polychromos and Prismacolor, which I might have a quick look at them too. And we'll probably continue the fishy part. The next part, I'll probably just do this as a comparison video. And so I just want to quickly find my Faber-Castell, my Polychromos and my Prismacolor, which they're kind of different with the colours, but let's see, can we find something close to a purple? I'll just see, is the mauve? Yeah, the mauve's close-ish. And obviously these magentas are going to be a bit different, so I'm going to adjust it to a crimson, which is a similar colour or close-ish colour. And where did that pencil just, oh, it rolled over here. So it's our Polychromos, and I'm just going to find some colours here. I'm going to use a processed red and our violet here. So I'm just going to quickly write Polychromos and Prisma here, and draw a rough circle for each. Then what we want to do is come in with our Prismacolor or Polychromos. So I'm going to start with our Polychromos with our mauve, and we're going to look at that. So yeah, from the feeling, Polychromos goes down, ProColour goes down just as well as Polychromos. Polychromos seems to be getting similar depth to the ProColour ones, I think. I think it's the angle my wrist is being held as to why it was feeling like it was cramping a bit with the ProColour, because I just felt it briefly then, but it could also be too that it's tired because I've been doing so much colouring stuff lately. It could be, which is a high possibility that it's just I've been doing so much colouring that it's causing a few aches and complaints. And then we're going to add in our crimson on the top of this, because our crimson is similar to these magentas here. Not totally same, but it works. I will notice though, I don't know if it's because they're not totally sharp, but the Polychromos does seem to be leaving more little white areas on the page. Maybe it's just because of the different tooth, and the different pencils work on different tooths better than others, which is probably highly likely. Polychromos might be slightly darker, is it? I just want to do it next to it. Let me put this back away. I just want to have a look at these next to it, right next to the Polychromos, to see if we can get the same sort of colour depths. But they're slightly different colours anyway, because companies don't make exactly the same colours anyway. Yep, you can definitely get the same colour depths. So yeah, they pretty much are right there with the Polychromos. And the difference is the light fast, which is why I would be really interested in trying the light fast pencils, because I feel if they're as good as the ProColour, they're going to be a very, very competitive option to the Polychromos and the Prismacolor. Well, the Polychromos anyway, because the Prismacolor aren't so light fast. Now we want to do our Prismacolor, which lays down just as well as the Polychromos and the ProColour. And it's a very bad circle as well. And then we want to come in with our process red, which is not exactly the same, but it's similar to the colours we're using, so. Actually, Prismacolor is quite different to the like the Polychromos and the ProColour are actually quite similar, quite close in colours, but the Prismacolor range is actually quite different to Polychromos and Prismacolor. It tends to have more of that brighter sheen to it, from what I'm noticing here. But yeah, so I feel the ProColour is very close to the Polychromos and the Prisma with how it applies, how it goes on. I still think Derwent Studio is definitely a good option, particularly if you can't afford the ProColour. And yeah, I really hope you've enjoyed this and you've enjoyed our comparison. I will continue with our fish here with the part now, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye.